I'm Jono, and I'm from Above and Beyond, or 1/3 of Above and Beyond, I should say. The other two aren't here today.
How has been being here in Mexico?
Every time we come to Mexico, to be honest, it's great. I was talking to some other people just saying how enthusiastic the crowd are here, and I think it's largely due to the amount of radio support of this kind of music you have over here. People are very educated about music, and you know, when you play a gig here, people sing along to all the songs and they recognise all the tracks, and we get a lot of requests for tracks, and I think that's, you know, that's what makes a great audience really, when they know a lot about the music and they understand the music. That's definitely the case here.
So you just played last weekend?
Yeah, we played on Saturday. We did the God's Kitchen Boombox, which is a kind of big stage with a cutout bit in the middle for the DJ, and all around it you have visuals projected onto these screens. And if you haven't seen it before, it's spectacular. I recommend you go onto YouTube and check out some of the videos, and you'll see the visuals. It's amazing.
And how did the show go about the audience?
The show was fantastic. I was saying earlier that at the end of our set there was a chant in Spanish, and that was, I don't know, that's kind of touching when people are chanting your name in Spanish and you know, asking for more at the end. It was great, yeah.
Great. So we know that as DJ and as a producer, it's a very different work, you know?
It is, yeah.
What's the real difference? Maybe because being a producer, you just give life to some product or some project. But being a DJ, you can present and give all your creativity in this. How do you live it?
I mean, the two are completely different skills for sure. I mean, and they're both very satisfying in different ways. And I think in the long run, production is more satisfying because it's like making a picture you can hang on the wall. You know, you've made something that's finished and is set in stone, and you can live with it. And then the good thing about DJing is that you get to show that to other people. I guess it's like the art gallery bit, but you know, you get to present your work to people and see the audience reaction. So, you know, if I had to pick one, I would stick with production, because that gives me the long-term satisfaction, whereas DJing is like a quick hit of adrenaline and excitement. But you know, the two do go very well together though, because once you've DJed more, you kind of understand what works for an audience. So you can incorporate those ideas into your tracks and you know, adjust the arrangements of the tracks accordingly so that they'll work better in the club. Yeah.
So it's more like a creativity work?
I'd say, I mean, I think production is a lot more creative than DJing, but it's not to say that DJing isn't creative, because it is. But you know, you're dealing with finished records when you're DJing, whereas you're making records when you're producing. But that said, you know, DJs these days, we do a lot of edits of our own tracks, of other people's tracks. We combine tracks together. That's actually quite a creative thing, but it's not quite as creative as actually writing music. So
yeah, that's great. And what's next for Above and Beyond?
What's next for Above and Beyond? Gigs wise, we're going to be playing in Guatemala on the 29th of December. That's the closest we're going to be to here, I think. In the next month, and then next year we're going to be doing a Brazilian tour at the end of January, and we should be coming to Guadalajara in February as well. That's being finalised at the moment. But music-wise, at the moment we're just releasing in Mexico. We're releasing Anjuna Beats Volume 8, which is a compilation of the kind of best of Anjuna Beats every year that we do, and a look forward at the future. So we put on there tracks that we think are going to be big over the next year, and we will be releasing those tracks on our label. It's a 2 CD compilation, and it shows some of the kind of stuff we're playing in our sets really. And then in the studio at the moment we're working on our new artist album, which will be out spring next year, and that's going to be called Group Therapy. We've already been playing some tracks off that. We've got a track called Thing Called Love that we've been playing in our sets, and also a track called Sun and Moon. So people heard that on Saturday, if they were listening.
Okay, and what's next well, not next, I mean, this is a Volume 8. That's
Volume 8, yeah, that's what I was talking about, yeah.
What can we wait? What can we expect in this?
Like I said, it's got kind of, every year we put together this compilation. This is our 8th one. So we ask all of the artists on our label to send us in material, and you know, they send us in stuff they'd like to get released on Anjuna Beats. We pick the best stuff and we put it on this compilation. and we also include some tracks that are already out on Jono Beats as well. So it's kind of look forward into the future, what our artists will be releasing, and there's some new stuff from us as well. There's a thing called Love actually on that one. So.
Well, we have many people ask us about this difference about being a band and being DJs.
Yeah.
How do you feel as a band or as a group of DJs?
I feel somewhere in the middle really, because what we do in the studio is definitely more band focused, but then ultimately we're DJs when we're playing gigs. So somewhere slap bang in the middle, because I mean our music's very song based, and that's what bands do as well. So that takes us away from the DJs for a moment there, but then as soon as we go out and do some shows, we're DJing, so really in the middle.
Great. Well, talking about these all new things, how do you feel about new alternative media, about maybe internet or social media?
I mean, that is hugely important for us. I mean, it's been really helpful to us to connect with our fans, and I think especially when there was a time years ago when the mainstream radio would control music, and now it's put the power back to artists, and if you can create a big enough following, the radio will come to you and ask you to take your show and broadcast it on your station. So it's put a lot of power back to the people. I mean, we just did our 350th radio show, Trance Around the World, and that was broadcast on the internet on lots of stations. It was broadcast on a lot of FM stations, and the big thing was that it was really heavily followed on Twitter. We actually were the #1 trending topic on Twitter around the world at one point. It was only for a short space of time, but we were in the top 10 for the whole night practically. But at one point we hit #1 on Twitter, which was incredible. That so many people around the world were listening and talking about this, and it makes you think how many more people were listening who weren't bothering to tweet about it. So that was really exciting, and I think it's a great way to be able to connect with your fans directly. Before you had to, record companies would buy TV ads and radio ads and do all this kind of marketing, but now the marketing is in direct connection with the fans, which is amazing really, and that's thanks to the internet.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.